With this one, we're going to take an amount that we want to have at some future date and figure out how much we have to save every single month to obtain this goal. For instance, if you want to retire, and when you want to retire, of course, we all want to retire millionaires. But this particular problem, it tells us we want to have $2.3 million when we go to retire, and that's going to be in 43 years from now. And of course, we need to base it on some realistic returns. 10.63%, that's about the average of what the stock market is doing, so that's a good return. At least something to base it on. So what we're asked to do here is to find out how much we have to save every month. Well, let's bring in what our savings plan formula is. And this one kind of gives us a range, many different parts. It gives us a big formula that we've got to follow. And down below here is the key to everything, okay? PMT represents the payment amount. This is our 2.3 million. This is the amount we're going to have at some future date, and so forth. So let's start filling in what we know. Let's bring in our scenario here. And with this one, let's kind of fill out what we know. We know what our A is. Again, that's 2.3 million. So let's go ahead and write that one in. 2.3 million. APR, that's our interest rate. Our interest rate on this one is 10.63%. Notice that that's located in two different locations here. So, and when we do this one, we have to move the decimal over. We can't do it as a percent form. It needs to be in a decimal. So we're going to move this decimal over 2 spots here. Okay, and again, it's going to go in 2 different locations. So we'll write those 2 locations there. 0.1063, that is 10.63% in decimal form. The next one is the number of payments per year. Well, this one we're asked how much we're going to have to save every month, and there are 12 months in the year. So our N value here is going to be 12. But you notice at the end, there are 3 different locations here for my N value. So when I write in 12, I'm going to do that in 3 different locations with this particular formula. So there are all of my 12s here. Now we have this Y, and this is 12 times Y. And Y represents the number of years. In this case, it's 43 years until we're going to retire. So I'm going to go 12 times 43 there. 12 times 43. Perfect. Well, now we've got this nice formula. The problem is I still don't know what the payment amount is. But if we just kind of look at this here, I'm sliding this one over just so that we have some room. If we kind of look at this, this is the payment times this whole calculation right here. In other words, I could put a parenthesis right around there. I kind of did that in red here. And it's payment times this whole amount here is going to equal 2.3 million. So if I wanted to solve it for the payment, just like we've done in other equations that we solve, I just need to get rid of this part here in this red parenthesis. So now what I'm going to do, and this is payment times what's inside this red parenthesis. So now I'm just going to divide both sides by that amount, okay? So I'm going to divide both sides by whatever I have in this parenthesis right here because it's payment times that amount. And that will give me what my payment is. So now I've got this 2.3 million divided by this quantity here is going to equal my payment. All right, and the answer on that one would be 217, and that's of course rounded to the nearest dollar. And that sounds great and everything, but let's actually do it on a calculator. So let me get out of here. I'll bring in my calculator, and I want to just type this one in just like I see it here. 2.3 million divided by, okay, now I want it to kind of look just like this here, okay? So I'm going to start, here we go, and I'm going to divide by this entire quantity here, and of course this is a fraction here, so to do our fraction we use our control button, then our divided sign. And I'm just going to start typing in what I see here, and above here I see a parenthesis again, and it's going to be 1 plus, and I see another fraction, so again control and the division sign will give me my fraction, 0.1063, and that's my interest rate, divided by 12. And this is going to be all raised to a power, and we use this one that kind of looks like a roof. Okay, so it's raised to the power of 12 times 43. Down below here, I still have another fraction, which is fine. I'm not scared of that because the calculator is going to do everything for me. All I need to do is go back in here and type in another fraction. 0.1063 divided by 12. Okay, and the one thing I forgot was this minus 1, and I don't know why, but I always forget that. Let me go back in and do that. Minus 1. And this should give me the payment amount. So the payment amount on this one should be $217.43 basically. And this one asked me to round it to the nearest dollar. A 4 tells me that I round it down. So this is $217. Now, one thing I do want to mention here on this one. We'll get in here, and it should actually be written like this, because on your online homework tonight, it's going to tell you to write it without any labels. So you just want to write 217, and that would get you the accurate answer.